Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the 8 things we need in the DLC to the Indigo Disc for Scarlet, Violet, or possibly DLC 3 if they add that. These 8 major things would be huge, and they fix some pretty major problems that exist already within Scarlet Violet itself. So, before we get into those, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more, comment below what you think is a must include that needs to be in DLC 2. And let's get started. And first on the list is actually a system that was introduced in Legends Arceus. The Quick Catch system, where you don't actually need to go into battles in order to battle and catch Pokemon. You can simply go stealth and throw Pokeballs at them. Something like this, especially when they're adding in more and more and more Pokemon with every passing Dex iteration they're adding. That was a complete whiff right there. Something like this that allows you to catch Pokemon on the fly without needing to actually go through the whole drawn-out battle animation would be fantastic, something to help speed up just catching in general. Filling out the Dex, after all, can be quite a big grind. While also adding in a fantastic additional layer of playability that Scarlet Violet does at the time lack. And number 7 on this list is going to be just a better Masuda hunting spot, or at least a better spot for hatching eggs. How many times have you been hatching eggs on your preferred spot for shiny hunting eggs? And the path that I always went to is Porto Marinata all the way to Medali, going through this area, and always, you get Pokemon like the Sableye that are always in the pathway, they just interfere with you, or you get Pokemon like this pack of Paldean Tauros, that decide to torpedo you anytime you're hatching eggs on this path. And there's a good, decent path on the Teal Mask, Kitakami, but this was always my preferred path to go on Baseland Paldea, where you can hatch eggs at a lot of spawns to get some shinies while you're shiny hunting Masuda eggs. I've actually found about 20 shinies, if not even more, just along this path when I'm Masuda hunting, and while there is a better spot on mainland Kitakami, when stuff can just blitz you right here when you're hatching eggs, a little bit of a problem. With the best Kitakami spot actually being the Crystal Pool atop Oni Mountain, while a great, nice circular area where Pokemon don't really invade your spaces, you do get a curious Cleffa every so often that will wander up to you and just get in your way. With how small they are, it's hard to spot them. They can wander anywhere on the path, and there's also relatively few spawns that exist here, so if you want to get some extra shinies while you're shiny hunting or hatching just Masuda eggs in general, or even just hatching eggs for whatever purposes, it's good but not great, as well as that you can't really set up a picnic in most areas. And you can't just go fly to an easy place on Kitakami to go grab an egg power sandwich. That is to go back on mainland Paldea. A better spot, something that's like this, where it's a nice circular area that also combines the previous area between Porto Marinata and Medali that's open, no real obstructions, and a nice neat path where Pokemon mostly stay off it, would be ideal. But before we get on to the rest of the list, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more, comment below. We've got a shiny giveaway coming up in a few weeks. One of the lucky viewers, who is present there, will receive a shiny Rayquaza among several other shinies. So if you want to be notified when that goes live, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. See you guys then, and continue on the list. And now for the absolute big one, third on the list, fittingly, is the expansion of Area 0. As it is, we can't picnic here in Area 0, likely a byproduct of that Area 0 is going to be getting bigger, or at least it needs to get bigger. Especially with the hinted Apex Paradox Room, as I choose to call it, being the home of, well, both the Apex Paradoxes themselves, but also the very odd geoglyph that is on the floor, something that they've hinted at with the expansion of Area 0, especially with Terrapagos being located inside of Area 0. There's no place that looks like where Terrapagos is sited. So, the geoglyph, being where this expansion takes place, is something that we need to get. It's a great place. There's so much they could explore with Area 0's lore history, Arven's parents, and Arven's story itself, which is going to be something that does get expansion on, and Area Zero just needs more. Next on the list is actually another system that exists in Legends, which is the crafting section with the Apricorns. Now, I wouldn't say you can craft the regular Poké Great and Ultra Ball, but something more akin to what the Chromatic was back in Sword and Shield. Like in Sword and Shield's Chromatic system, where you can walk over to the Chromatic and just stuff items into the Chromatron itself, namely things like the Apricorns, where you can convert those into the special Apricorn Pokeballs. Even if they are a bit uncommon to get, it's certainly far better than the 0.01% chance you have of getting them from the frickin' Ace Academy tournament that presently exists, or Porta Marinata auctions where they go for absurd amounts of money. Because these are the Pokeballs that players really want to get their hands on. Next up, what we need are some harder battles in this game. The Ace Academy tournament is the highest level enemies you're going to be going up against, but by this point, if you've already beaten it, you've gotten some Pokemon that are at very strong levels. You've got either competitively trained things, and you're using this primarily as a money grinding system. You're not really doing this for a challenge, especially because you can simply overlevel. If you're doing Terra Raids, you're probably having level 100 trained stuff to take everything down, and the NPCs here, like you're seeing, you can just absolutely clown on them. They pose no threat, especially with monotype teams. The BB League and Kieran better be packing some serious heat if they want to show us they can hang with us as a tough battle. And another system from Sword and Shield to bring in was something akin to Dynamax Adventures in Max Lair, except instead it would be Terramax Adventures, where you can shiny hunt for the Terra Legendaries, as well as being a way that would make sense to give us the 19th Terra type's Terra Crystal. It would need to be a vast improvement on the already existing fiasco that was the Mewtwo raids. After all, Terra raids are fairly disliked when it comes to just regular system, on top of, even if they do Terra raids for every single legendary, there's far too many legendaries to do even a single 1 week per Terra raid legendary battles. You just simply wouldn't have the time. There's over, at this point, 80 legendaries. If every legendary got 1 week, that would be almost a year and a half, including the rest of the starters. That'd go over 2 years. There's just not enough time. Fourth is an exceptionally and sorely needed item they have still refused to implement into the game, and that is an IV decreasing item. They've added in various forms of EV increasing items, the mochis, the vitamins, the feathers, but while they've added in a system for the bottle caps, an item that actually maxes out your IVs functionally with hypertraining, they have yet to include a system that allows you to minimize your IVs, as there are a number of Pokemon that specifically want minimum IVs. While you can breed most species down to have a specific desirable 0 IV, such as Trick Room Pokemon that want to have a 0 speed, or special attackers that want 0 physical attack, there's no way of getting Pokemon such as Fluttermane, which can't breed, to have a 0 physical attack, or Pokemon like Iron Hands to have a 0 speed stat, without going out and catching dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of them and hope you get lucky. I was fairly fortunate when my shiny Electros did have a 0 speed stat as well as a mark, but I know most people won't be so lucky and have particular shinies that they would love to use competitively were just suboptimal. The vast majority of my shinies are competitively suboptimal. And last on this list, we need the Battle Frontier back, or at the very least, the Battle Tower. Even if they give us some harder gym battles with the new Elite Four BB League, Kieran's Dark Future where he's going to be using the newest legendary to try and take us down, there's easily the potential we could overlevel, overprepare, and just have absurd teams ready to absolutely clown on him. A lot of people are going to want to be using the new Ogerpon we just got in the Teal Mask, or various paradoxes that they couldn't use during the main story, but can now use during the post-game Teal Mask and DLC Indigo Disc expansions. So we're going to be going in with extremely well-prepared teams, and something like the Battle Frontier wouldn't allow us to go in and bulldoze everything with absurd stats, over-leveling, dedicated training items, and would actually give us competent rival battling. Maybe even not the Battle Frontier proper, or at least something named the Battle Frontier, but something that's level restricted that actually tests us like restricted sparring was. But that's gonna be all from me, guys. If you haven't done so already, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more. We've got a shiny giveaway coming in a few weeks, so when you want to get notified of that, don't forget to hit that bell notification so you know when it goes live. We got a shiny Rayquaza that's up for grabs. You might be the lucky one to take it.